You probably know what it's like, right? You're running a skateboard company, you contact your supplier, and they answer late, they answer slow, or they forget to answer, and if they answer, they miss half the questions. And let's say you started with DEX, like most skateboard companies, but you want to grow. Next, you want to make wheels, maybe trucks. And if you're lucky, your supplier holds 1 or 2 different shapes of wheels on stock where they can slap on your design. But how do you want to use those wheels to compete with the top wheels out there? You just can't. But you want to push skateboarding, right? You want to push skateboard technology, skateboard innovation, and you want a catalog that is so clean, so innovative, so perfectly designed, and so specialized to core skateboarding that skateboarders and skate shops alike think that you are the Apple computers of skateboarding. If that's you, then this recording is going to be interesting to you. You probably are a skateboard company founder or the purchasing manager of a skateboard company. And you're very likely from the core skateboarding industry. And if you are the right listener for this audio recording, then you're at a point where you pass the first 50, 100, or 200 decks. You're at a stage where you need to ramp up productions. You're probably at 500 decks, and you're at a point of time where you want to add trucks, bearings, grip tapes, hardware, and you probably want to grow all of these in a coherent, nicely designed catalog. If you're past this point or at this point, then you're ready to join 2Hex. Then this is for you. So 2Hex is for companies that have already been founded, already been built up, and now are looking to scale, to go into more products and to increase numbers. That's where 2Hex comes in. So 2Hex makes all skateboard components, all 6 parts that a skateboard is made of. So the grip tape, the deck, the hardware, the trucks, the wheels, the bearings. And unlike a lot of other suppliers, we also make the boxes, the cardboard wraps, the plastic wrap, the shrink wraps, the tin boxes for bearings, like everything. So when you work with us, we work with raw materials. So it's not that we just throw your decks inside a box that shows 2Hex. No, the box shows your name. And not just your name, you actually will have to design the box, or we will help you design the box if you're not ready for it yet. So you decide how many decks go into the box. You decide the colors of the box and how strong the cardboard should be. And you design the box so that when you send out the box of decks to your customer, that it looks a lot more professional, that it doesn't look like you just bought them from a skateboard company and resell them. No, it's going to be your brand, your boxes, your everything. So you compete with the biggest brands out there because that's where we're going to take you. 2Hex is growing, and we look for customers that are growing too. We're actively looking for the right partners, because if our customers grow and 2Hex grows, we can grow together and we can take over this market. We're already doing so, and with the right partners, we'll get there faster, and you will get there faster. So listen to the rest of the audio recording, and you can find out if you're the right match, if this is for you. So 2Hex does not own factories. Instead, 2Hex partners and trains factories. We built an extremely strong factory network in China. 2Hex is a German company, and we sell mainly to the US for the highest end of skateboard companies, for the core market, for skateboards that are used at the X Games, in the Olympics, at Street League. And this is our core strength. German precision, processes, and quality, enforced in China with Chinese factories, for the US, for the professional skateboarders, and for the big competitions. So we have the German management. They are inside China, they are in the factories, enforcing the processes. We help the factories source the raw materials from the right place. And we consistently explain to the factories that no, it's not about the lowest cost. we need the highest quality. Here in China, the culture often is about that factories should help the customers save costs. That's always number one. But with 2Hex, number one is quality. We want to make skateboards that are the best skateboards. We want an Olympic skateboarder to stand on the deck and say, yep, that's the best. And if you can save $1 and have a board where he says, it's okay, well, that's not us, that's not 2Hex, and that's not you. So we help the factories here and train the factories to get the right machines, get the right raw materials, set up the machines the right way, and run the right processes. And everything with a lot of checks in between to make sure everything is at the highest quality. And so this makes our products really popular in the US, in South Korea, Japan, and in Europe. And it gives us the Chinese pricing advantage. And we're going to pass that advantage of quality, price, and target market specifications and specialization on for you. This is so abstract, right? So let's make it more practical with the example of the barracks. So during COVID, barracks had a huge demand for decks, but their current supplier at that time just couldn't handle that many orders because demand was very high for skateboards during COVID. So they just said, sorry, we're full, we can't take your order. And this is something we didn't want to do to our customers. So the barracks came to us and said, hey, 2Hex, we've heard you can still supply skateboard decks. Is that true? And we said, yes, we can do that. Because here's exactly where 2Hex core strengths comes into play. Because we could go out and find another factory that had the right machinery, where the boss of the factory had the right mindset, and we could send our staff there and make sure they ran the production according to our process. We set the pressure of the, let's say decks. We said what pressure they should use, what time they should use to press the decks, what glue supplier, and we could check the humidity of the deck, and we could just enforce everything so the decks turned out to be the same decks as with our other factory we partnered, because we're inside the production. So we had these super high quality standards that are quite common inside German productions. And we had the specifications that American professional skateboarders want, and we had that inside the Chinese factories. So all in all, we could run the barracks production, get those decks made, get them shipped out, and into the barracks' hands really quickly, in spite of COVID, in spite of the over-demand. And not just that. Actually, at that time, global shipping was almost impossible. Because of COVID, it was very difficult to ship, and then because of face masks, every shipment was completely full. So other factories just couldn't ship out anymore, because some other factories are like big old boats. They just go one direction, and if it's stuck, they're stuck. But not so 2Hex. We're agile. So we talked with our freight agent. We sat down with them and said, hey, we need to send out these skateboard orders. We understand that face masks come first and medication too, but then after that, it's skateboards. So UPS, DHL, and some other companies agreed with us that whenever they have a little bit of space on the plane, they will fill that space with our skateboard orders. So our customers' orders were in the freight warehouse of UPS and DHL. They filled the planes, and if any order was canceled and a little bit of space opened up, they pushed in the skateboards and we shipped them out. Same for ocean shipment. So we continued throughout COVID to supply skateboards to our customers. So our customers could make full use of the huge demand for skateboards during COVID. And one of these customers was the barracks, and they were very happy too. This is just one example of how this 2Hex network helps skateboard companies succeed. Then, of course, also, if you work with, let's say, a pure deck manufacturer, then you can get those decks that this factory specializes on, but that's again where you're stuck. With 2Hex, we've built up this super strong network which allows you to get every product. And not just every product, but every component of every product. So let's say, again, bearings. you can get the tin box, the cardboard box, you can get the sticker insert, you can get your custom-made oil if you want. And you can get, like, you've got the whole thing, you know, the shipping box too. Everything is designed by you. So everything is completely coherent and really professional. So you look, and the quality of your product rides like a big professional company. And that exactly is the benefit of the Chinese network too, that we have here. So China has everything. Like, China is this huge factory environment where we have all the raw materials. China has the biggest factory network in the world. And 2Hex specializes on bringing core skills together. So China is great if you have larger production quantities, because let's say you just want 10 decks. Then it's so much cheaper to get them made locally, because shipping internationally is expensive. And it only makes sense to ship from China once you, let's say, pass at least 600, 700 kg. That's around 500 skateboard decks. But you probably want to get over 1,000 kg. So let's say 500 decks at least, because that's where we start. Then 600 sets of bearings, 300 sets of trucks, and some other products, maybe 1,000 grip tapes. And now you're at a point where it makes sense to order in China. And if you order in China, then it makes sense to work with 2Hex. Product innovation is a core strength of 2Hex and a core reason why you should work with 2Hex when you are growing or already big. Because we start from the raw materials. We don't just take a pre-made product and slap on your print. No, we buy the raw materials from the raw material supplier. We rotary cut the logs into our own veneers. And so you can tell us what kind of logs we should buy. Is it just Canadian or North American maple? Or do you want some special veneers inside? And we follow your instructions, and we can consult you on what materials are best for you. And then we dye them, we process them to give you a coherent product catalog where everything fits together. We can dye the wheel urethane in the exact same color as your deck veneers and the bearing cover shield. So everybody looks at that product, like when they walk in and they see that color, they know this is your brand, no matter if it's the bearings, a deck, or wheels, or the packaging. So 2Hex will guide you. We want that your company succeeds, because if you become the world's biggest skateboard company, then the world's biggest skateboard company is our customer. And if we push the top 10 companies to run the skateboard market, then we are the manufacturer for the top 10 companies. So your success is extremely important to us, because your success is our success. And 2Hex is in touch, or has been in touch with most distributors, skateboard distributors worldwide. We know someone in almost every country and we know those that lead their countries in skateboarding. And while each of them has contacted us for productions, we can bring all of these resources together so that you can win. If we see that your products fit to a specific skateboard distribution from a specific country, we will introduce you, because it's not a gift from us to you. Instead, we want you to succeed, because if you win, we win. So we're working for ourselves when we work for you. We want you to have a professional catalog, super high-end products, because if you lose a customer, then we indirectly lose a customer too, and we don't want to lose customers. So when a skate shop unpacks your products, they want to look at the box that arrives, and they should feel like, wow, this is exciting. I wonder what's inside. Not a boring box. They should receive a box where they feel like they want to unpack it immediately. Then when they unpack it, everything should feel so perfect that the shop can't wait to hang it up. The colors should pop. The edges should be smooth, where you just want to hug it to bed. That's the feeling that the skate shop visitors should have when they pick up the product, your product, from the shelf. And that's where we will bring you. That's our goal. So before you work with 2Hex, you put your print on some standard skateboard decks and you push shops to sell them and you tell the shops, hey, look, I've got this really nice design, right? But with 2Hex, you will be at a point where you push skateboarding, because we will guide you through all the little parts of what makes a skateboard production great. For example, if you submit your skateboard design to us, other companies will look at it and will be like, okay, we can print that. But with 2Hex, we'll maybe say, hey, you've got some metallic colors in there. How about you use a metallic sheet between the skateboard deck and the print, and then add a slightly transparent print on top of it to give it that special shine. And if we see that you use only 4 colors in the artwork, we'll be like, hey, use Pantone spot colors. Don't print this in CMYK, because this way the colors will flash more into the skateboarder's eye when he enters the shop. And then we will help you match the veneer colors to your artwork so that the whole deck feels like one coherent product. And then we will also help guide you that you fix which colors belong to your brand so that customers will start recognizing you. And then you can use the same colors for all your orders, across all your products, down to the skateboard deck veneer and the bearing shield. So after you work with 2Hex for a few years, you will be at a point where you have a good, where you're in touch with major skateboard distributions, where you have a product catalog that is so well-rounded that people think, where people just feel like, wow, they can't wait for your next catalog, where skate shops can't wait to hang up your products. And your future should be that you dominate skateboarding, not only in your country, but across the world. If this is where you want to go, then the easiest way to contact us is to go to the website where you are right now probably, and click on contact, and just briefly tell us what you want to make in your next production, because this is the next step. You just tell us where you're at right now and what is your next production plan, and then we see if it's the right point of time for us to take over. The best way to work with 2Hex is by being organized already. So 2Hex is highly organized and builds up strong processes, but we need the same from our customers so that we can succeed together. Because if we're stuck cleaning up your work, we can't grow fast. And we want to do a fast growth together with our customers to take over this market. So that means make a clean Excel file, write which products you want to make, and then write the quantity and break down the number of different sizes and the specifications. So for example, you have one line for each style. So the design, the size, the veneer colors, the artwork name, the number of colors in the artwork. That's one line, and you repeat that for every different product and every different product style. Then you pack that into a folder, add your artwork inside, zip it all, and upload it to WeTransfer and send it to us after we've answered your first inquiry. And if we find that you're the right match for us and you believe we're the right match for you, and we decide to take this journey together, then comes to turnaround times, right? So usually, if you prepared everything perfectly, it takes a week for us to go through all the details, check everything, make sure we've got the right materials and components on stock or access to it. And then we'll write the invoice for you. And once we've received your down payment, which is usually around 60%, then the process will start. So then the whole production usually takes 6 weeks, and we'll add another 2 weeks where we can just ensure that we have a small buffer that allows us to make fixes and also to go over all the products once more. Also, after we've received the down payment, we will make all the components, buy the raw materials, and then make first samples. We'll send you photos. Once you've accepted or agreed to these photos, Then we'll start the mass production. Once the mass production is finished, we'll send you samples of the mass-produced goods. Once those are confirmed, you can pay the balance, and then we arrange the shipping together with you. So this is the production process you will experience. Down payment, then if it's the first time you work with us, you will receive samples to check, to decide, for example, on the concave for the decks, or on the bearing material, on the urethane material for the wheels or bushings. And then we'll run the production, and after the production again, you receive samples, and in between the whole process, you regularly receive photos, because we really want to make sure we align exactly with your vision, because you know where you want to take your company, and we want to make sure that the production matches exactly your vision. And then it comes to shipping. So you can either arrange a pickup of the goods from Guangzhou in China, or we help you arrange the shipment. So we have good deals with freight companies, because most customers let us do their shipping, which means we check with our freight agents and carriers and freight companies what is the best freight option, and we check with you how fast you need them. Then we match that and send you the price of the best quotation we received for your shipment, which changes every week because demand changes, and we really want to get you a good price. And this leads to that freight companies need to constantly update the price for us, because there's not such a big buffer that we can just keep the same price. And therefore we quote the shipping price after the production is done, after we can confirm to the shipping company the pickup date, so that they don't have to add any safety margin for not knowing what the global shipping will cost in the future. Then it depends based on what shipping option you chose, if it arrives within 3 days or 8 weeks. This is up to you, and if it's best to pre-plan. If you choose the slowest delivery, then you of course save costs, and then you can compete stronger per price. So like companies usually prepare their next batch like 1 or 2 seasons ahead of time. Now, let's say the shipment arrives. You've got a big truck arrive in front of your warehouse, in front of your company, or wherever you run your business from. Then on that truck, you maybe have 2-3 pallets full of goods, maybe more, maybe less. Then you have these pallets will be unloaded and will be standing in front of your warehouse. And then usually you can just roll them into your warehouse, or you can take the boxes one by one. Again, these are the quantities I'm mentioning for starting with 2 hex. Of course, we quickly want to get you to a point where you roll in 10 pallets of goods, but we understand that you can't start there, and that you probably can't reach that point with your current supplier. So that's why I'm mentioning these quantities. So let's say you get these pallets, you roll them in, and you'll see that everything is neatly packed. And you're just gonna feel really warm inside after seeing your own boxes with your design, where it's your shipment arriving, not a 2 hex shipment arriving. It's your brand's shipment. Like, you'll see your brand on the boxes, and those are your boxes, probably with your custom tape to close the boxes. And then you open a box to check the goods, you take them out, and they feel so smooth, they look so perfect, the colors are so clean. Everything is so perfectly made to the detail that you can't wait to show it to shops, because they've probably never seen something like this before. Now, while you listen to this recording, you can go to 2hex.com and click on photos, because now we've heard a lot, but you probably want to see a lot too. When you click on photos, a gallery will open with filters for the different products: decks, wheels, trucks, bearings, grip tape, hardware, machines. And you can click on those filters and it will just show you those photos and those videos. And before I leave you, if you think, and if you've listened to this and you feel that this is exactly where you want to go, and you just feel that you're the right partner for us and we're the right partner for you, then click on contact, top right of the website, fill in the form, because we want to get to know you. If you're excited to know us, we'll likely be excited to get to know you. And if you're at a point where you feel like it's too early, you just need 10 decks, 20 decks, and then again, get those made locally, but you still want to hear and stay in touch with us, just go to the newsletter tab where it says news and sign up to our newsletter, because this way you stay in the loop. And once you've hit that point where you need to quickly scale your productions, you will have, like, you'll be in the loop of 2Hex in our news, so you can easily jump in and grow with us at that point of time. So we look forward to hearing from you, to getting to know you too, and to growing your company together.